the reminder, so I have record the session. Okay, so basically the amendment is this one. Instead of doing the co-working, we are only focusing on the MaGICX office and also the training center. So this is the brief. All the brief will be briefed by Dr. Noorsidi after this. Okay, and all these spaces. So all the spaces I will brief you after this, after the briefing by the CEO. Okay. So without further ado, So for Dr. CD, so your upcoming office will be located at Medini Nusa Jaya. So the student have already presented the site analysis for your office later. Okay. So I think without further ado, I would like to invite Professor Madya Surveyor Dr. Noorsidi to give some to share some brief about MaGICX itself. And after that, perhaps the student can ask you some questions, right, Dr. Sidi? Boleh?
Alright, boleh. No problem.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Fat.
Okay, so the floor is yours. Okay, so if you have any question, you can just ask, right?
Yes, exactly. So,
All right.
thank you, Dr. Fadlina. Fadlina, right? Okay. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me to this session, sharing sessions. This is a good. I think this is good exposure for students as well to get engaged and then to make sure how to appreciate the client's needs and then how to appreciate the new environments, how to appreciate the land and so forth. Been briefed by Dr. Fat before this. This is about your second project, something like that, which is I'm not so familiar with your terms under architecture punya subject terms. But then when I received a call, I said that is the new not new normal, but I think that is new focus from various aspects and angles, whereby when you put the terms of co-working space, that is one issue. When you put optimize the land space, that is another issue. And when you put to optimize the financial sustainability, that is another issue. So based on the client's angle, what we look into is what we are looking at is actually how to optimize our financial sustainability, how to optimize our land, and how to make sure that we can optimize our space that we have. Meaning that if we just have like 10,000 square meter, and what is the best value that we can have after a few certain months or certain years. So as given to me, and as well as what Dr. Fat just shared with all of you just now, that the attachment file, I think, right? They have some briefing about MaGICX, and then at the end of the attachments file, they have like the potential land, the potential site, the new site of MaGICX at Medini. So I've gone through that proposal as well, that template as well. Then I said that that's good. So for today is actually you want to know about MaGICX if we want to transfer to the new place or something like that. So I also informed Dr. Fadlina the fact that my preference is if I may share some information that, and then maybe I can open to Q&A straight away. So at least this discussion will fit your purpose, not just my purpose, right? So as a brief, for your information, if I may share one slide. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, hopefully you can see my sharing content. Okay, so short brief about MaGICX, even though you already have the contents, right? So MaGICX is actually, we can say that there are two entities, which call the first one is Center of Excellence, and the second one is actually MaGICX Sdn Berhad, which is a company. And we can say that whole 50% hold by UTM and 45% hold by IRDA, right? So the main purpose of MaGICX Center of Excellence, so as stated over there, to do research, development, consultation, produce human capital in digital and game industry, to become reference point, and even for the company itself, the combinations of two entities, for the company itself, we are looking to commercialize the product and financial income generate as become as income generator for the center and for our boards of member or our UTM and IRDA. So when it comes to the idea of having MaGICX, or if I may share the forte of MaGICX. So this is the forte of MaGICX. When you can see, there are two parts of MaGICX, which is the first part related to Center of Excellence. You can see upstairs on the top one, having about research and publications and so on. And then for the second one, most probably is related to Sdn Berhad. And I think this is the niche that you want to focus when you want to bring MaGICX to Medini. That is core focus. When it comes to incubator, so what is incubator? So this incubator is actually is the project that we want to develop human capital. We want to develop more inventor. We want to develop or create more technopreneur or even entrepreneur related to media and game innovations. So who are our client? So when you are talking about you want to hear from me, that's I'm your client. But I want to share with you, in my environment, we have on this left hand side, that on my left hand side, you can see the individual and SME, GLC, governance agency, school, NGO, community. This is all my clients, or we can call MaGICX client. So to meet your purpose in creating or developing this project, you have to understand the ecosystem of MaGICX itself. So whereby MaGICX are generating income, MaGICX are creating new ecosystem of technopreneur and entrepreneur. MaGICX also needs to make sure that we have to establish financial sustainability, to make sure the business will sustain, and to make sure that the business that we create is not just belongs to MaGICX itself, but also belongs to the incubators. So incubators is actually the person or the runner of the company that we ask them to be a members, or we ask them to stay with us at our office. The simplest, the layman terms lah. We want to develop a startup. We want to develop a spin-off company. We want to develop a company, but they have to register with us under membership or under project and so on. Then we call them is our incubators. So we will make sure, we is MaGICX here. MaGICX, we make sure that this group of startup or companies, we sustain under us at least for the minimums of 2 years or up to 3 years. They need to stay under incubators program or under our incubator. So that is another point that you all need to consider, that at least when they come as members or in our incubators, at least they need to stay with us for the terms of 2 up to 3 years. So when it comes to the design of the building, then you have to make sure this is the space that we need to make sure reliable. This is the space or the design that we make that easy access for them. And let's say after 3 years, what's going to happen to them? So they can stay with us under our space, but they are not being registered under the incubator program. Meaning that you have to think about, okay, we can allocate more design or more space to the company that after they finish their program as under incubator program. So it's like there are two portions of activity, which is the first one, they registered themselves under incubator program, and then after 2 or 3 years, they are no more under incubator program, but they can stay with us to rent the space. So I'm not so sure the allocated space at Medini for your project, but this is the thing that you need to consider as well within your design. Okay, so in terms of that, normally what I can say with you, with the cost and everything, we want to make sure that projections for the company at least secure with our financial income, at least secure up to minimums of 600,000 per year. That is another KPI for me as well. Even quite struggle for these few years with the current pandemic and so on, but that is the aim. So even Dr. Fan and two of the students, I think, when you visit the company, the space over there, they're still like not full utilized of the space. And then some of them is actually just a member, and then they pump in some things, fees and so on. Then they can work wherever they are. Okay, so that is another concept that we apply to MaGICX, meaning that they become our members, but they can stay wherever they want. So we generate income from the membership. So that's one clue, 1 point for you, the extra point for you. So, but what we want to make sure to the core income that we are looking is actually from the angle of like co-working space or space rental as our core income as well. That is why when I said just now, after 2 or 3 years, we are looking that they can stay with us to rent our space or our venue. So at least with the certain numbers of tenants, we at least can cater about 500,000 income per year from them, or 600,000, 500 to 600,000 per year from space rental only. That's
Sorry,
what we.
Dr. Sidi, if
Yeah.
I may ask, okay, for the incubator program, so do you
Mm-hmm.
allow, so they are allowed to stay here, right? So
Yes.
it's going to be a co-working, it is co-working space lah, kan?
Uh,
See,
okay, they can stay with MaGICX.
okay.
And that is why if you visit the venue, they are about launch, they are about open space, they are about incubator area, you know.
Oh, because we haven't visited those
Oh,
places
okay.
after this lah.
So this is varieties of space that we allocate in our office. So
Okay.
I do hope that you can design, or for this project also you need to design such this, the varieties of space. Even if you want to add on like auditorium, seminars room, more seminars room and so on, yes, you are allowed to do that, and that will be a good income projection from there. All right. So um, instead of just that, that is why I mentioned just now that after the portions of space, meaning that after 2 up to 3 years, they rent the space under incubator program. I do hope that we can bring them to stay with us, but under their own company, their own stand. So they love to stay with MaGICX because of the design, because of the space, because of the accessibility, because of the feasible of the space. And then from there, we at least can generate income, sustain or fixed generate income from them, from tenant, apa we call that one, rental space cost, rental space fees too, up to at least 500 to 600. So let's say 600 per year, about 5,000 per room. Yes, so at least you just need about 12 rooms or 12 office space. You know, you can calculate that one lah, right? So or even you want to make sure the amounts of monthly rental fees tadi tu lower, then maybe you can up the numbers of space. So it's 12 up to 30 or 40 space, so we can reduce the rental fees and so on, right? So that one I leave it to you on your design. So, but instead of that, normally under our finance or operations cost, OPEX, not capital, not for CAPEX, OPEX, operation expenditure, we normally allocate about up to 40% of the annual return. So let's say we put such this. So let's say we aim for 600,000 per year. So 40% from that is actually for operational cost. That is, so you have to make sure that about electricity, utilities, contracting out like cleaning and so on, right? So this is the thing that you need to consider as well. So when you want to make sure uh, how many space that we need in our new building, so you have to make sure with all these operational costs as well. So if I want to make sure that I want to sustain 600,000 as my profit, so maybe you need to increase the figures or the space, something like that. Okay, so in MaGICX as well. So we have also collaboration with IRDA, and we also have collaboration with UTM. But in this new term, we are still negotiating in terms of getting more crowd to engage with MaGICX. So we aim that the community of UTM, academia, the community of students, the community of SME, we engage with us within this coming year and next. Alright. So the ecosystem in MaGICX, we are not just having the space for them to rent. We also need to make sure that we have lab that they can develop or they can like stay there to construct their idea, their products and so on. So meaning instead just incubator, yes, as you know that most probably uh, our incubator like work from laptop and so on, just need that kind of space. But we are aimed that we are looking for the more what we call that one, the more facilities such 3D printing up to few huge size. We are looking for cyber security space. Let's say that's mean maybe we need to have bigger server area in our building. Maybe we need to have even security, physical security space area. So this kind of environment, when I've gone through your proposal, your attachment, if we want to make sure to transfer MaGICX to Medini, so the open space over there, meaning that the land area itself, so is it secure for us to be there? Is it secure for us to allow our incubator to freely access? Our incubator are going to have or willing to transfer themselves to that place. Are we going to have more crowd instead of what we have just now in UTM if we keep on staying at UTM, something like that? So you have to understand as well the nature or the ecosystem of MaGICX, the environments at MaGICX, also to make sure that we are not just for incubator as well. We might open our space to outsiders to have and to come here to have a meeting session and so on. It's like, let's say we have incubatees up to 50 incubatees. That's what our aim for this coming year lah, for 2021 up to 2022. we are looking for 50 incubators. So from 50 incubators, I have to make sure that they have space for them to discuss. They must have space for them to make sure that their clients happy and freely to access to our space as well, you know. So we don't want to make any difficulties for them to come and to feel like it's not comfortable for them to discuss with our incubators, because the nature of incubators is a business. So every single second is a business, is a money. So, we need to make sure that not just me to make sure my client or incubator feel easy with the venue and with the access, but I also need to think that up to their client. If their client feel not comfortable with the environment, then I need to make sure to change something over there. Either the accessibility, or either the marketing process, or either the venue itself, or either the design, something like that. So when it comes to design thinking procedure, so I have to make sure up to the level of clients of my incubator, all right, to provide them a great solutions. Okay, so I also mentions about the ecosystem. I also mentions about the company itself, what we need, what we want to sustain, and so on. And yes, for this coming year, we also looking forward about the issues of SDG as well. So like SDG, looking forward about sustainability on climate change. We also looking forward about networking locally and globally. We also looking forward about the financial sustainability. We are also looking forward how to well-being, improve the well-being. This is the main SDG that we are looking at. So for the new design, I'm looking forward that if we want to, if the idea is to transfer MaGICX to the new place at Medini, so I'm looking forward that we at least can do something that reliable to SDG, and then we at least can make sure that MaGICX is still valid to this group of people: individual, SME, GLC, government agency, school, NGO, and community. So I think that is more or less the sharing or point of view that I can share in your group to develop or construct the new idea of MaGICX venue. And this also some key focus areas. So this is only the key focus area that developing or creating. But we are now looking forward MaGICX as a digital solution hub. That is additional information for you all lah. So we are now expand, instead of just a key focus area for these 6 items, we also now expand ourselves to become a key player of digital solution hub. Meaning that when it comes to digital solution hub, we are not just limited ourselves to this kind of key focus area. Alright, so maybe we can open to Q&A because quite long sharing here.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Madya, Dr. Noorsidi. I think some the students have prepared some questions to ask to be asked. Okay, so the sharing session is over, right? You have finished yours, right, Dr. Sidi?
Yes. I'm
Okay,
open for Q&A.
All right, okay. So student, if you have any question, you can just ask because this is the beginning of your final project, okay? And then you need to know whatever which is related to MaGICX. I think this is the only day that you have the chance to meet the CEO, okay? Students? Apa tak boleh ni? Tak nak share tak? Tapi kalau cakap, sorry.
Hello.
Yep. I can hear you. Hello. Hello at me.
Hello. My name is Asdin, and I have a question for you, doctor.
Okay.
I want to ask about privacy for your opinion. Do you concern about privacy for this MaGICX or
It's not clear. Not so clear.
not so clear?
It's like echoing. I will stop sharing first. We can reduce the data by
I think other student can just proceed with your question because Akmal didn't bring his microphone here.
or maybe
Do
he
you
can
have prepared
use
the questions?
maybe Akma can use Akma with you, right, Dr. Fan?
Yes, yes.
Or maybe he can use your microphone something because I think echo because both of you next to next.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
The question is, how
uh-huh.
concerned are you about the privacy? Does the center prefer having that kind of environment where the staff or the higher ups will work in the same workplace or in a different rooms?
I
The
see.
privacy between the the bosses and the staff.
Uh, all right. Thank you for the questions. Okay. When it comes to privacy issues, there are few things. My preference actually, yes, we are looking to management side of the area, the space, and we are preferring to combinations of management and clients, and we are looking that clients have their own space as well as client with their client, meaning that if um, the design of the area space is high rise, normally like we are looking on the upper level. If the design is actually within one floor, so we are looking that at least we need to differentiate between the management side and the client side. Because of why? Because some of the informations is not cannot be carried out beyond the boundaries of management side. So even though we know that when it comes to co-working or open space, but yes, the open space is mean for them to at least they can see us, or at least we can have a small area that normally we just stay there and can see our clients, incubatees and so on. But at the certain level, we just want our own privacy to make sure that we have certain issue that we need to solve within our areas. Is it okay for that question and that answer? Clear for
Is
that
it
one?
okay, Akmal? Okay, tunjuk macam
Macam
ni.
kena paksa tanya soalan ni.
Tak, the students dia ada misunderstanding
I
sebenarnya. So
see.
soalan ada kat sini, kat sebelah saya ni.
So even we have to make sure macam I just mentioned just now, right?
Mm.
Client also need to have their own privacy. When it comes to an incubator, some of them like looking their preference is that we have our own space. When it's, their company increase their income and so on, they gain more and more and more. Their preference to have is like their own space. That is why I mentioned just now that let's say you have to think about it's not just a sharing space, but you need to allocate about like uh, close contact space for each company. Meaning that it's like if you are there now, you can see like that is what we aim as well. Lecturers room at T03. We aim that that's become our accelerator or company incubator that gain more or gain more income for each year compared to those who just want to start their business. So those who just want to start their business, their preference is actually to open space, share the space. But those who already secured few numbers of project, mostly they prefer to have their own space. How big the size? It depends on the situations. Normally, even lecture room is just nice for them. Even double lecture room is also okay for them. But the main things is about privacy space for those company that gain more project. Alright, thank you.
Okay. If there are any question, any other question? I think there are a lot of questions that
Morning, Doctor.
being listed.
Morning. Yes, Theo.
Okay, I'm Wei Hong. Yeah. Okay. So I have a question here. Is that just now we just explained. We just discussed about the function of the building itself inside the building, the spaces inside the building. But other than making it the building as a function of office and training center, is there any function or space that you would like to include inside or outside the building? Maybe about the area, the open area around the building.
All right. Thank you, Wei Hong. Okay, this is a good question as well. That is why when I shared with you just now that I asked to look into about the feasibility of the venue. You have to understand, and then you have to understand the environments of the venue. Just now, you clear about the environments or ecosystem of MaGICX as the functional of the MaGICX. For the next one, you have to make sure that you understand very well about the environments of the surrounding area. Meaning, when I mentioned, when you saw what we call that one, my clients, you saw my client just now, right? They're about individual, GLC, SMEs, communities, and so forth. For this client, yes, MaGICX also looking forward the open space that we can always inviting them to be at our space. Meaning the design itself is you need to create the welcoming design. You have to make sure that that's why I also at the end of my sharing just now I just mentioned about we aim to achieve about SDG goals, sustainable development goal as well. So the ecosystem over there, about climate change, the design itself to appreciate the environment. It's like when I saw the idea at the end of the attachment, your proposal at the Medini area, they're about, like Putrajaya circle over there. So how you want to make sure the validity or the functionality of MaGICX to be there. Alright. So even if you are designing the building strata or high rise, so how you want to make sure that the design is welcoming the rest to stay there. If the design is actually landed, so how you want to make sure about the issues of privacy, and how you want to make sure that the community feel that yes, if we have short discussions like all of you lah, kalau ada short discussion nak pergi Starbucks, right? Nak pergi McDonald's, some kind like that. So how we want to make sure the open space over there, the discussions that we can have there, if they has a big gun of the company, also feel happy and calm to discuss, feel of belief to discuss over there, not just a small company. So this is, I think, I already. Is it okay for you to understand about that, Wei Hong?
Yes, sure.
Alright, no worries. If you have more questions, just let me know, and then I'll try my best to answer the question. Right? Soalan lain? I think all of you need to make sure to understand that the ecosystem that MaGICX need to handle is the welcoming area, the welcoming building, the welcoming space. At the end, that we need to appreciate not just the clients of MaGICX, but we need to appreciate the clients of MaGICX. Because MaGICX create or develop a new startup or a new company. At the same time, MaGICX also to support them to create their business. Meaning, MaGICX client need to create their own client. And that level, MaGICX to make sure that the all these level feel easy and comfort to be at MaGICX area, right? So at least 2 layers of client. Client for MaGICX, client for client. This kind of ecosystem. And one more point, I think, I'm not sure whether I just mentioned or not yet. You have to make sure, even though they are not, the potential clients is not our incubator. Let's say you are, as a student, want to stay and do something job at MaGICX. Yes, we also welcoming you to be there. Maybe the terms of concern or concept of co-working space or just open space that we are welcoming all of you. Right? Okay, any questions?
Okay, students, do you have any other questions? There's one question from Akmal, but I think if anybody wants to proceed first.
Mhm.
Hello, doctor.
Yep.
I want to ask, is the temperature in a building important, especially for other working technologies? If yes, does the usage of air conditioner important?
Not so clear. I just can hear about air conditioning, something.
Yeah, I repeat. Is the temperature in a building important, especially for all the working technologies? If yes, does the usage of air conditioner important?
Is a pressure
Temperature.
or temperature? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, the temperature for the area space to develop and creating is also important for our nature or nature of business as well. But that is why I mentioned just now is you have to make sure that like have like a lab also need to provide lab, and at the end, but for the incubator area or the most of incubator area, my preference or our experience preference is to make sure that uh what we call that one, the nature lighting is better for us to have that kind of design. uh if the temperature for open space area, uh, that's that's okay if we can have a nature area, a nature temperature like 24, 22. Um, but uh, the most important is actually the the heat that we need to make sure how we want to design that. We need to reduce the heat or they like outflow the heat from inside to outside. Because why? Most of the incubator will use technologies like if in the company or incubator space, okay, not mentions about lab but the incubator space, the co-working space, we need to make sure that most of them will use technology equipment. It's like laptop, most of them we have what we call TV, Kinect games, few spots of few spots of like game innovations area in the communities, in the open space area. So they are produce so much heat. So in the design itself, you have to make sure that even though we are looking to the nature heat, nature temperature, nature airflow, or even if we provide aircon with that figure of temperature, but how we want to make sure that the heat inside the building can be can we bring out from the building itself. That is also most important. And also if we produce if we create a space for lab, then that is another big issue, which if the design is high rise, so where's the lab will be at, you know, you have to think about if they want to bring a big components of equipment, then where they need to access, how maybe one day big lorries, 14 tons lorries and so on want to access the area, and then we'll drop off the equipment, something like that. Did I answer your question, Yui?
Yes, this clear. Thank you.
Any question?
Is there any other questions, guys? I think the list of questions are already with you, right? It is a long list. But I think some of the questions that they want to ask you has already been covered during the briefing.
How much?
I have a question.
For Andika, all right.
Yes. Um, what are the weakness or like something like kekurangan in the current building that you want to improve in the next building design?
In the current building, meaning that refer to
Yes.
the current building, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ni Fikri Andika. Okay. So I'm not sure Fikri or Andika. So Fikri Andika lah. Thank you for the questions. Okay. It's based on what we aim and actually we need to do. We need to produce. Even though for your information, we already we already in the terms of the periods of getting some fund to develop more incubators. So based on the current venue, most probably we lack of open space, we lack of incubator space, we lack of the numbers of space that for accelerator or those who already gain more money compared to startup company. We also lack of discussion space, even though the main things we also have no lab at all at the current space, the current venue. So they need to develop themselves outside wherever they are, but they want to bring the equipment to the space is quite difficult and quite struggle for them. And the lacking is actually also the open space or showcase space to those their develop their product and so on. So also we need to make sure that we have we have the showcase area as well as a marketing space area for our incubator to put their equipment or product. So based on that, I think what I share from the early space up to now, yes, with the current venue, we are looking forward that we have more or better space. So with the current venue that you have that Dr. Fat stay just now is actually more like management or administration space area. If we want to difference our management area with the incubator or MaGICX ecosystem area, yes, this is like the HQ, the admin area, office area. Then there are another space called at Medini as a MaGICX tower example, space area, something like that. Then yes, we are looking forward for that design. And we are now also currently working to gain like JVA with few agencies from state and globally from another country as well to make sure that we are HQ or caretaker of the certain areas of expertise, especially related to IR 4.0 solution provider. So yes, if this project can be pitched to the state and so on, then that will be a good things lah. Even I'm looking forward actually if once you settle, I'm not sure the dealing the part with the rest or other agency and so not, or this is just for the architecture project as well only. But I'm looking forward that once this project being proposed and details, I'm looking forward if I can have this idea for me to pitch to IRDA, so at least they can allocate certain area, maybe that proposed area as well, because I think Medini is also under IRDA.
That is interesting because we can from the proposal we can go to the real project later perhaps.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm looking for that one as well. Sebab because for your information, why I proceed with the idea, IRDA also asked me to if I need to transfer to the new venue, then what is the not where is the place, but they're looking forward about how it will be.
Okay,
So
that's
maybe
nice.
maybe after this, if after the project, I'm not sure you're going to cover with the cost or not from the project itself. But if you cover with the cost, then that will be great. So they're like a part of feasibility studies as well. So with the design, the cost, construct cost, your cost, professional cost, everything. It's like a new proposal, solid proposal that will be good. Maybe I can invite you or you can invite your students to pitch to IRDA for this proposal. I'm just the ones to stay there and they say, okay, introduce this is student project and so on. This will be good. They pitch to me, then I love to bring this project to be a real project. Because IRDA and under Khazanah also looking forward to have a new venue in Medini as IR 4.0 spot on, something like that. They want to call the area.
Okay, because the students have already presented their site analysis last week, and then
Okay.
we have chosen the Zone D because it is
Mhm.
related to the future planning of the Zone D is more on the youth and entertainment. So I think the
Yes.
MaGICX company, if the proposed site is there, is very sweet to the proposed site.
Right, that's good.
So, so
Because
sorry
you
that
have to
we
make
have.
sure MaGICX also is part of IRDA. MaGICX is aiming for youth and community development.
Yes, so that's why I think the site is very suitable to
Right,
put the
that's good.
company there. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Is there any other question? Okay, guys, I think because before this I have presented to you. No, I have given you the brief for your project too, but the spaces that I have written there is not basically based on this specific client, which is the MaGICX. Okay, so after this, I think Akmal and Taufik will go through this all these areas, and then we also want to know how the incubator areas and so on. So we need to I will just take some pictures over there so at least the students have some imagination of how the spaces would be later. Okay, so after this also the brief that I have given to you, I think I need to make some amendment because before this I have put there it's a co-working, and then I think we just need to be an office only. But after the presentation by Dr. Noorsidi, I think we can go to the idea to the co-working itself because it is the future of the MaGICX. You want to expand to the other company as well, okay? Under MaGICX itself, right? So that one, I think on the upcoming Thursday, we will finalize all the spaces needed and also the project briefing, okay? After the presentation by Akmal and Taufik too, okay? Okay. Uh, sorry, Dr. Noorsidi, do you still have time? Until what
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Until what time, I'm not sure.
I know you are very busy today.
Itulah. But it's okay. Even though if you like need extra after this, have to like on any time, just text me first lah. I
Okay,
try
okay.
my best to at least allocate half an hour or 1 hour to give feedback and so on.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. I think we
Alright.
have another question from Akmal here.
Right.
Hello, Doctor.
Yes.
I ask one question.
That's good.
Hello. Uh,
I can't hear your question. Oh, tak tanya lagi eh?
So, tak, sebab dia bergema, kita mungkin nak
Ah,
bilik yang sama. Sekejap eh.
I see. Okay.
Can you hear my voice? It is
Okay.
clear or not?
Better.
Okay. I just want to ask about the design that you want to portray on this building. Do you have any corporate color that you want to have at this building? Macam apa contoh ke apa ke? Yang can be a reference for us.
Okay.
Macam
For
kalau tema ke apa
reference,
ke?
tema, I think the simple theme is actually MaGICX is creating or developing future talent. Alright. So the space for MaGICX is actually the building itself is space for future talent. Tapi bukannya back to future punya area. Design space for future talent, meaning that you have to understand about talent and about future, and the venue itself is to develop this kind of person. Okay, and I also have no idea about whether you are going to build a high rise or the landed, vertical or horizontal. I have no idea about that. If I think the simple idea that maybe I can say to all of you that you terus nampak spark and so on is about Stark Tower. Wah, Iron Man, right? Mesti semua dah macam, oh Iron Man, sesenyum dah nampak lah ada area macam tu. One big office tower, then ada open space area, ada discussion area, so ada like view area, and then the rest is meeting and lab and so on. Even the Stark, not tower, that's one of the high rise is like Stark Tower. If landed punya design is like easy for you, is like Stark House lah kan, yang dalam end game punya cerita tu kan. So dia ada lab, dia ada house, di bawah lagi ada house, tapi tak adalah sampai macam tu obvious sangat. Tu just nak to make sure like you have some idea, layman idea yang you rasa oh macam tu je lah kan. Kalau saya bagi specific idea, apa benda lah Dr. CD1 ni actually tak faham, you know. So it's like that's a simple one. It's like the most important thing, like what my answer to Yu Wei and Wei Hong tadi, this is a community space area, future talent area. So how you want to make sure that one, I leave it to you. So saya tak adalah specific team ke apa, cuma you have to understand this is a community area, future talent punya area. And then for me myself, because that's me myself lah, actually suka yang have like view, open area, you know, kalau stress sangat minum air kopi dekat like veranda, something macam tu lah. Ada windy environments, like you can see green.
Tu bilik bos macam tu kan.
Bilik bos rasa macam tu lah. Ada green, ada windy sikit, stress minum kopi kat luar, nak cari duit macam mana, macam tu lah.
Okay, Dr. CD. So the building height will be 3 or 4 story only. So tak boleh buat yang start tadi lah.
Oh, tak ada. No, it's okay. Cuma yang start tadi tu, I want to like you can see, kan ada satu level start yang dia ada satu area, dia open space. Dekat top of the tower tu dia ada open space. So even macam UTM lah, UTM KL. Menara KL, dia ada satu floor atas tu, dekat logo is actually like coffee area. Dia boleh pergi rehat, tengok, cuma jangan terkejun sudah lah. Nak ada face terkejun kan. Stress terkejun. Okay, saya bukan Iron Man, something like that lah.
Okay. Ada lagi soalan?
Doctor, I have.
Okay, Wei Hong.
Okay,
Wei Hong, right?
One thing that you mentioned just now is that for MaGICX currently is more focused on the rental of the incubator to the incubator, right? So as in the future, since MaGICX itself is also producing a lot of products like the education, edu entertain game, I think. So is there any planning that MaGICX will go completely into the market, like focusing on the production of the product other than providing spaces to the other company?
Okay, thank you, Wilhelm. Actually, yes, that is why I mentioned just now that we are looking forward for digital solution hub. We aim that even though we are developing future talent, even though we are creating companies more and more and more, this company will be our combinations of expertise, and we declare under MaGICX they are part of digital solution hub. Even though currently we are trying to get some agreement with MDEC about voice over, you know, like cerita boy nak record your voice and so on. Even we are now aim to have this kind of competition soon, that from other company they are looking for possible voice, they also can have in MaGICX. Even that room nanti I think Dr. Park akan nampak the room tu yang kita dah ada that room, but the equipment we are waiting to improve lah. So it's not just that, meaning that we are not just rent out the space. We actually looking forward to become a digital solutions and then come up with the bigger solution or bigger product to the market. But yes, at this moment our main core area is about IR 4.0 lah. Even though there comes to IR 5.0, 6.0 and so on, is IT, digital. So every single thing related to digital, that is what our aim or core business that we are focusing on. That is why if you can go through about MTDC's CO9 pillar, there are at least about 9 pillar over there. They aim for that we are now working on that part as well. MaGICX, meaning that in terms of we are creating a company, we are having the rental space and so on. We are now looking that we have cluster, about 9 cluster, 9 pillars, CO9 pillars. MTDC, at least you can have the idea about what are they 9 pillars. So we are aimed to that one, that we call as part of digital hub solution. Right?
All right, Doctor.
Dr. Sidi.
Yeah, yes, saya.
Alright, can I ask on the administration? Okay, so can we get the carta organisasi after this, because we want to know the department part. Perhaps you have the human resource area and then marketing, promotion, something like that. What else?
Okay, we actually at this moment we have HR, financial. We also have about asset and facilities management, and then we also have project management. There are about 4: project management, financial, HR, and asset and property management. So one more, if I need to look at my structure balik lah. But one more, I'm not I can't remember either marketing part is under HR or I just the latest structure tu I just pull off from HR and then their own organization part.
Okay,
That
okay,
one
but but the one for the future planning we can plan, right? So
Yes,
if you
exactly.
want to have additional department with the managers and so on. Alright. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, any other questions, students?
The good thing is if I may have like your proposal ni in quite details. Saya tak ada promise apa-apa lah. But maybe for this workout ni kita go like industry grant, something like that.
Okay.
Maybe. So at least I can ask Irda to pump in something, right? So even 5,000 is still money for you lah. Good lah juga. Boleh cover here and there, right?
Okay.
So cuma tak ada no promising from me lah. But because this is a good project for MaGICX and Irda and even UTM, so maybe we can propose this proposal for them. At least we ask lah. For the next part tu nanti I usahakan lah.
So we have 10 students here, so we will have 10 proposal after this. So that one can be discussed
So
later lah.
yeah, cuma for this project tu maybe kita combine like your proposal tu lah, your attachment tu. Cuma kita solidkan lagi. Nanti kita tengokkan. So maybe from there, the outcome is like 10 proposal and so on. But the scenario for the preparations of that 10 proposal tu is come from this one big proposal. So at least ada some allocation, we can declare MaGICX provide industry grant for you guys. So at least good for you jugalah. And the team.
Okay, right. So I think if there is no other questions, or you can just text me or Dr. Noorsidi boleh kan after this?
Boleh.
They have additional question. Alright, so I think we can finish here, and then I Taufik and Akmal will visit all the spaces so that we know what are the current situation or current condition of MaGICX here, and then how to improve or how we can go further after this. Okay, so I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Surveyor, Dr. Technologist, Professor
Aduh,
Madia.
nama jadi terus panjang kan. Bubuh lah, CD sudah. Just call me Dr. CD is more than enough. I think that's
Dr.
good
CD
enough.
je.
CD pun
Manja-manja
boleh.
kan.
Saja ngada-ngada Aduh.
Okay.
Aduh.
Okay. So I thank you for today's session. I think there are a lot of things that has been shared, so which can help the students to start their proposal later. Okay. So perhaps after this, I also can share with you what are the master plans that they have proposed last week, so that in order for them to suit with the upcoming project. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So I'll try my best to be at office about another maybe 15 minutes kalau you boleh tunggulah.
Boleh.
So boleh nak
Kita nak ambil
bergambar
gambar.
depan tu. So sebab saya ada kerja kejap nak settlekan sini kejap, then I will go there. InsyaAllah.
Alright. Okay.
Alright.
Tapi kita nak bergambar kat sini juga.
Oh,
Kat sini.
okay.
Can you turn on your camera, guys? Afina, Hajar, Andika, they are so shy. Kecuali yang 2 orang ni. Afina, Yingwei. Yingwei. Okay, alright. Can we have photo session? Alright. 1, 2, 3. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Betul lagi. Alright. Okay. Alright. So
All
thank
the
you
best.
very much. So nanti kita jumpa kejap lagi ya.
Boleh. Dah ada apa-apa nanti bagi tahu je lah. InsyaAllah. I'll try my best to help.
Okay. Alright. Okay.
Alright.
Alright. Thank you very much, Dr. CD.
Alright. Thank you. Assalamualaikum. Good day. Alright.
Thank you.
So can I leave the meeting first? Boleh
Boleh. Silakan. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, students, I think this one, whatever that I have shared, I need to amend a bit. Sorry, kejap, I shared dekat you. Okay, this one. I think I'll go through with Taufik and Akmal first on the Magic Office and Training Center. So I think we will need to do the amendment. I think we can just stay on the co-working because the MaGICX itself, they want to expand to a bigger company later. So we can do the co-working. But this one I will give you on the upcoming Thursday, okay? And also for the spaces. On the spaces, because this one is I have taken this one from the previous batch, but some of the spaces it can be changed according to the client needs. All right, so I will confirm the spaces on the upcoming Thursday, and then you have some works to do to be presented on the upcoming Thursday. Okay, this one. For the weekly schedule, so today we have got the project brief, client brief, and lecture input. Okay, you will have a lecture input by Dr. Izura this upcoming afternoon at 2 o'clock, I think. And then and also a project brief, general project brief from AR Chan Wildlife. Okay, and then you will have another web session on the afternoon. All right, on the Thursday, It's going to be a seminar or a sharing session and lecture input by me. And then you need to present all these things. Okay. Akmal and Taufik, you will need to present the client brief, existing condition, the needs to expand and so on. So whatever that has been presented by Dr. Noorsidi before this, you need to summarize it. And then because we want to know what are the spaces needed, what are the stand of MaGICX itself, okay, basically based on the whatever that has been stated before. Okay, and then another group will share about the concept, theme, and ideation. So this one is some kind of the design process. You need to know what is a concept, what is the theme, what are the ideation, okay, and how does it relates to your project later. And then another group work. I don't know which one you need to form your own team members, okay? And then another group will cover on the ergonomics and anthropometry in architecture, okay? Because we want to know whatever things which are related to ergonomics and anthropometry, especially for an office and a training center. Let's say, how big is the space needed? What kind of tables needed, and so on. And another one will cover on the sensors in architecture. Okay, so all these things you need to, I think you need to present the definition, application, and examples of buildings. Okay, and etc. So I'll see you on upcoming Thursday. Okay, I think it will be on the afternoon because I have a master thesis script on the morning, but I also will present to you the lecture input on the upcoming Thursday, right? If there is there is no any other question, we can just class will dismiss here, and then I will go with Taufik Akmal for the site visit, right? Okay, guys. Thank you very much. If you have any question or if you want apa tu Taufik Akmal ambil gambar apa-apa, just tulis je kat diorang. Okay? Alright. So thank you very much, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Macam mana nak tahu?
Tempat bagi lecturer dekat Sahih ke?
Semua. Hari Khamis kan?
Ya, maksudnya